Golden FM 97.5.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on Golden Sunrise National and World News. In the headlines, President Tinubu approves 16.7 billion naira for immediate reconstruction of Mokwa Bridge. Serap asked EFCC, ICPC to probe National Assembly over 3 million naira bribe for bills allegation. EFCC recovers billions as ex-NNPC officials face prosecution over refinery fraud. Nigeria deports 42 foreign cyber criminals convicted by court. National Security Advisor says 2 Ansaro terrorist group leaders have been arrested. And on a foreign scene, President Putin agrees to security guarantees for Ukraine being part of potential peace deal. Details coming up shortly.
Shining brighter than ever. 97.5 FM, the gold standard of radio.
I am Moya Steven, now the details. President Bola Tinubu has approved the release of 16.7 billion naira for the immediate reconstruction of the Mokwa Bridge in Niger State, which was destroyed by flooding in May 2025. Mr. Mohammed Idris, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, announced this in Abakaliki on Saturday after a meeting with Senator David Umahi, the Minister of Works. Mr. Idris, who is leading a federal government delegation on a 3-day tour of projects and citizen engagements in the southeast, said their approval underscores the administration's responsiveness to urgent infrastructure needs. Mr. Idris also commended Senator Umahi for his swift response in the wake of the disaster, including dispatching experts to assess the damage shortly after the bridge was washed away. According to him, the approval of the bridge reconstruction will be music to the ears of the government and people of Niger State. Senator Umahi described President Tinubu as a compassionate and listening leader who was committed to solving the challenges confronting the citizens. The Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, on Sunday deported 42 of the 192 Chinese and Philippine nationals convicted by the Federal High Court in Lagos of cyber terrorism and Ponzi scheme offenses. The 42 foreign nationals were the first group to be deported from Nigeria following their arraignment and conviction by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The deported persons were part of 759 people arrested by the EFCC during a major raid on December 10, 2024 at Onye Jolayemi Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. Now, the other convicted foreigners were scheduled to leave Nigeria on Monday and Tuesday and will be airlifted back to their home countries. All convicts have been turned over to the Nigerian Immigration Service for deportation. The Anti-Graft Agency had claimed that before the raid, the cyber crime syndicate had a large-scale operation involving cyber fraud and Ponzi schemes. The charges against the convicts included using false identities online to defraud victims, training Genteng International Company Limited employees in fraudulent practices, and other offenses under the Advanced Fee Fraud and Other Related Offenses Act of 2006. The EFCC has stated that these charges reflect serious crimes aimed at undermining Nigeria's security and financial integrity through cybercrime and fraud. Mr. Ola Olukoye, the EFCC chairman, had described the convictions and deportations as a significant milestone in Nigeria's fight against crime and financial fraud. He reiterated the Commission's commitment to intensifying investigations, recovering looted funds, and restoring national dignity in line with President Bola Tinubu's anti-graft agenda. In another development, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has recovered over 5 billion naira and $10 million from contractors and government officials indicted on the fraud in the turnaround maintenance of the nation's refineries in Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and Warri. According to reports, the Anti-Graft Agency was working to recover another 10 billion naira and $13 million allegedly siphoned through contractors engaged in the maintenance. Mr. Ola Olukoyede, the FCC chairman, took personal charge of the investigation owing to his displeasure with the non-functional refineries in spite of humongous public spending in them. Nigeria's 4 refineries have been largely dormant for decades despite several attempts at rehabilitation. Successive administrations have budgeted billions of dollars for their turnaround maintenance, but the facilities in Warri, Kaduna, and Port Harcourt have continued to underperform, forcing the country to rely heavily on imported petroleum products. Top sources at the Anti-Graft Agency revealed that fraudulent practices, including overvoicing, contracting inflation, and questionable payments, were largely responsible for the inability of the refineries to function despite huge public spending over the years. They disclosed that former management teams of the 3 refineries were repeatedly interrogated in connection with their discoveries. One of the sources said the commission had concluded investigations into some officials of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited allegedly involved in their rehabilitation contracts and was preparing charges against them. Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor, has announced the arrest of 2 men he identified as leaders of the Ansaru terrorist group. Malam Ribadu, who disclosed this at a press briefing on security developments at the Office of the National Security Advisor, identified those arrested as Abu Bara, the Amir, and Mumada, the Deputy Army. The NSA said the 2 men had been on Nigeria's most wanted list for years, having jointly spearheaded multiple attacks on civilians, security forces, and critical infrastructure. They are said to be responsible for masterminding several terrorist operations in Nigeria, as well as high-profile kidnappings. Also present at the briefing are the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and the Minister of Information and National Orientation. Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, the Chief of Naval Staff, has said that Nigeria has recorded 0 cases of piracy on its waterways in the last 5 years. Vice Admiral Ogala disclosed this while fielding questions from newsmen on the sidelines of the passing out parade of the 2025 set of young sailors held at the Nigerian Navy School, Ikot Ntwem, Akwa Ibom State. The Chief of Naval Staff, who spoke through Rear Admiral Gabriel Aligwe, the Chief of Administration, Nigerian Navy School, said several kinds of operations in the waterways had made the Nigerian waterways very safe. He advised the graduating students to pursue their dreams and remain resilient, noting that the training they had received was to give them proper grounding for a bright and fulfilling military career. In his address, Governor Omoina of Akwa Ibom State congratulated the young sailors for distinguishing themselves in both academic and military training during the stay in the school. The governor, who was represented by Mr. Obong Umar, the Commissioner for Education, charged the young sailors to shun acts that could have negative consequences in their future endeavors. You're listening to the Golden Sunrise National World News on 97.5 Golden FM Yanakwa. Still to come, more news. Please stay tuned.
Cruising around by Yelsa on 97.5 Golden FM.
The Miles and Media Awards are here again. Guess what? Golden FM 97.5, your gold standard of radio, has been nominated for Radio Station of the Year. And we've got some of your favorite shows and OAPs on the list too. Vote for Christy with the Golden K, Golden Sports, Worship and Word, Pepe Subzone, Let's Talk Nigeria, Wobeniere, Golden FM, your station of the year. Want votes? Here's how. Step 1. Go to www.bma.org.ng. Step 2. Click Vote Now and enter your email. Step 3. Pick your fave nominees. Step 4. Choose how many votes you want to give. Step 5. Make payments, card, bank, or transfer. Step 6. Boom! Vote confirmed. Each vote costs just 100 naira. Max 50 votes per nominee. Vote again September 20th. Golden FM 97.5. Your gold standard of radio.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the Golding Sunrise National World News on 97.5 Golding FM, and now for the rest of the bulletin. The Bayelsa State Government is assured of its commitment to the completion of ongoing projects and backed by the Prosperity Administration before the end of its tenure. Mrs. Kukubi, the State Commissioner of Information, Orientation and Strategy, disclosed this during the transparency briefing for the month of May, June and July 2025. Mrs. Okukubi highlighted the administration's commitment to public accountability and transparency, citing it as a cornerstone of Governor Oyederi's leadership. She outlined the state's ongoing projects, including the 9-story secretariat buildings, International Standard FIFA Stadium, Nembe Brass Road, Yanagwa Oporoma Road, and Ekeremo Ake Road, and ensured that the government is committed to completing these projects, having planned and budgeted for them. Mrs. Obi appeals to the media to promote the administration's programs and policies, emphasizing the need for balanced reporting, urging journalists to investigate thoroughly and avoid spreading unsubstantiated claims, particularly during the electioneering season. The Commission expressed gratitude for the media's role in disseminating information to the public and encouraged them to practice diplomatic journalism and emphasized the importance of protecting the state's good name and celebrating its achievements. She highlighted the need for collaboration between government and the media to promote Bayelsa's progress. Mrs. Obi urged citizens to discourage rumor mongering and instead focus on celebrating the state's achievements, emphasizing that the media and government must work together to promote the state's image and progress with the shared goal of building a prosperous Bayelsa. Meanwhile, Mr. Timipri Sepalo, the special advisor to the Bayelsa State Governor on Treasury and Account, has disclosed that the state raked in a balance of approximately 165.87 billion naira in its coffers as of July 2025. Mr. Sepalo said the state's monthly income and expenditure for May stood at 167.28 billion naira, after deducting a deficit of 7.2 billion naira from the April carried forward balance of 174.48 billion naira. He noted that the state's receipts after FAC for June totaled 85 billion naira, with a net balance of 66.05 billion naira before recurrent and capital payments. After deducting 41.82 billion naira for these payments, a balance of 24.23 billion naira remained. He explained that adding the 24.23 billion naira balance for June to the closing balance of 167.82 billion naira for May resulted in a total of approximately 191.52 billion naira carried forward to July. Governor Oyederi has approved automatic employment for the 3 children of late Mrs. Lucky Ere Etete following the death of their 56-year-old mother in July this year. Mrs. Etete was the People's Democratic Party PDP women leader in Sampo community, hometown of the governor in Kolokmo-Pukuma local government area of the state. According to a statement by Mr. Daniel Alabra, his chief press secretary, Governor Diri gave the directive on Friday during her laying-in-state funeral service at Sampo. He said upon the death of her husband at an early age, she took up the responsibility of training her 3 daughters, who were now graduates. Paying glowing tribute to the deceased, the Bayelsa henchman said she contributed a quota to the development of the community through her role as leader of the women. He described Mrs. Etete as a hard-working businesswoman and staunch supporter of the PDP, with an unwavered loyalty to the party. According to him, as a mark of respect and honor, he made it a point of duty to pay his last respect despite his busy schedule. Chief Isaac Kumoko, immediate past Kolokuma-Opukuma PDP caucus chairman, in his tribute described Mrs. Etete as a lover of Sampo community who participated actively in its activities. Chief Kumoko said that though she was young, she demonstrated maturity and served as a role model to mothers. In a brief exhortation titled Death, a Passage unto Eternity, Pastor Emmanuel Zitwa of the Living Faith Bible Church encouraged people to strive to make a positive impact in the lives of others. Referencing the book of Joshua 24 verse 15, pastors need to enjoin Christians to serve the Lord in order to live a purposeful life. Senator Lawrence Arujapo, the Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, has felicitated Dr. Gloria Diri, the wife of the governor, on the occasion of her birthday over the weekend. Senator Arujapo, in a statement signed on his behalf by Mr. Dobara Tassi, his senior special assistant on media, said Dr. Gloria Diri's birthday ceremony offers a rare opportunity to make appraisal of her very impactful social programs and projects which have positively touched the lives of the people, especially the vulnerable demographics such as women, youths, and the elderly. The Deputy Governor noted that the First Lady had used her privileged position as one of the pillars of the Prosperity Assured agenda in Bayelsa State to change the narrative of many Bayelsans through skills acquisition programs, medical outreaches, and stipends to the elderly. He also acknowledged her efforts in the area of providing entrepreneurial trainings and startups for Bayelsans in the business community, as well as being a voice for the promotion of women's rights in the country. Senator Arujapo, who used the opportunity to thank Bayelsa women for their support to the Prosperity Administration, urged them not to relent in supporting the people-oriented programs and initiatives of the First Lady to better their lives and others in the society. The Deputy Governor prayed God to grant Dr. Gloria Diri sound health, more wisdom, and divine direction to enable her to contribute more meaningfully to the development of Bayelsa State. Now to the foreign scene, where Mr. Steve Witkoff, President Donald Trump's special envoy, says President Vladimir Putin has agreed to robust security guarantees for Ukraine. Speaking to newsmen, Mr. Steve Witkoff describes the proposal as game-changing. It follows Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky telling a news conference that they need security to work in practice as part of any peace deal. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Keir Starmer and several other European leaders will join President Zelensky for a meeting with President Donald Trump at the White House on Monday. That's the Sunrise News from 97.5 Golden FM Yenagoa. But before we go, here's a recap of our major stories. President Bola Tinubu has approved 16.7 billion naira for immediate construction of Mokwa Bridge. Sarah has asked EFCC and ICPC to probe the National Assembly over a 3 million naira bribe for bills allegation. EFCC has recovered billions as ex-NNPCL officials face prosecution over refinery fraud. Nigeria has deported 42 foreign cybercriminals convicted by court. National Security Advisor has said 2 Ansara terrorist group leaders have been arrested. On Foreign Scene, President Vladimir Putin has agreed to security guarantees for Ukraine being part of potential peace deal. That was in Sunrise News. For news stories, comments, and observations, please send us an email at goldingfmyenagoa@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok on 97.5 Golden FM Yenagoa. The news was edited by Isaac Yedode, and I am Moye Steven. Good morning, and thanks for listening.
Golden FM 97.5.